Danica from H&D Abroad. So hello. Can you hear me? No, you're muted.
Okay, I
There
didn't
you
want
go.
to interrupt your introduction, so I muted myself, and here we are.
Oh my
Hey, sister,
goodness.
how are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. Just I wasn't doing good, but I am good now, and I feel peace and joy. And I'm like, you know what? We're lucky. We get to do this. We get to sit and talk and share. And that's what we're gonna do today. Okay.
Absolutely. All day, every day. All day, every day. I love how you start your your introduction with how are you locating your cozy. I mean,
Yes.
like in the audience, I'm just like, girl, yes. How are we doing? I have to like personally reflect on that myself because we're always in push mode.
Hmm. Exactly.
And
We're not there
you
yet though, so we haven't started yet. I got to go for my other church announcements first. So hold up,
okay.
hold up. Okay. I'm gonna give you that. Okay. First, we have a lot of people that have come in already, and this is really exciting. So, again, my name is Yolanda, and Danica is with us today, and we're going to be talking about some things. But I try to start with some kind of format, and then it don't always go according to plan. But first, because we have so many wonderful people that have come in to share joy with us and appreciate some insight. So let me just say hello to a couple of people and I now know how to push buttons when I say it. So, hello, Dr. Linda. How you doing, sweetie? It's good to see you. I'm so happy that you were able to join. And hello, Efrey. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are a new name, so I am happy that you are here. I'm so tickled that you're here to join us. Let's see here. Um, the luxury bucket list. Thank you so much for coming and sharing this space with us. Really do truly appreciate it. And there's this chick, her name is like Bayesian Alpha something and stuff. And she like laid up in my house somewhere, stalking me. So my
That's
sister,
our
yes.
sister.
Yes, she is here. Yeah, I'll do big sister. She's my daughter's age, but I'm just saying big sister. But yeah, she's here in Zaragoza, she's here in Madrid, and so showing support, and she's showing me support online. And I wasn't ready for her to quite leave yet, so she's still like scoping to see where she might end up leaving. But right now, she's hanging out with me, so that's cool. Yes. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Just FYI. Okay, so Indy from the group is here. Oh, okay, okay.
Nice.
Yes, yes. Okay. So we've had so many people join our groups. Like, are you with the Texas Sisters or with We Out 2025? Which one? Because we have a couple of them. Okay. Oh my goodness, we have a lot of people in here. Hello, Melanie. How you doing, sweetie? Thank you so much for joining. I'm really excited. Um, let's see. I want to make sure that I get on point to what I got to say before we get on topic. So I'm gonna let Dee introduce herself in a few minutes, but let me just kind of say a few things. Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, please do make sure that you go in and you where is it at? Yeah, like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you'll know when I'm posting either something live or if I'm posting a pre-record or if I just say boo. Okay, so yeah, so make sure you do that. And I always like to also start out with what's going on in my world. What's going on in my world? And I can share a couple of things that I'm um, excited and kind of like bummed about a little bit. So, just for transparency, I did the splits on Friday and it was unintentional and wasn't in a good way. Okay. It wasn't like there was no happy ending. There was nothing. I was literally my granddaughter was over on Friday and I had to pick her up and I got some new socks, the nice little cushy socks, and there's no rug or anything. And I slipped and I had her in my arms and I was like trying to make sure that she didn't get hurt. And so I saw my leg going forward and I said, either you're about to break your leg or you're about to pull some serious muscles. And I slammed down. She was fine. And yeah, I felt something pull. I'm still fully intact. I'm walking, but it's like with a really bad limp right now. But I'm okay. Lesson learned. My granddaughter, once I realized that she was okay, I and then she kissed my leg, and then she was trying to like pick me up. This child just turned 3 today, as a matter of fact. My granddaughter turned
Oh, happy birthday, lollipop.
Yes, my lollipop just turned 3 years old, and I called her to sing happy birthday to her, and, she was basically singing happy birthday to me. She's like, "Happy birthday!" So, anyways, she was trying her best to be supportive while I was in so much pain, but so, if I move and I have some kind of weird face, that's why. I'm fine. It's okay. Um, yes, that's it. Okay. What
We got to be careful. We're ladies of a certain age. We got to be careful.
That's what scares the daylights out of me, because I'll be like, I've fallen many times in life, as we all have. But now I'm like, "Ooh, this is the time when you start breaking hips and stuff." So yeah, it kind of freaked me out. And stuff, and then, I'm walking and limping around. Yeah, that kind of scared me a little bit, but I'm okay.
Good.
Thank goodness. What else is going on in my world? Yeah, I hurt myself. Um, All my information is down right here today. Yeah, this is something silly, but I find joy in the littlest things. I got some turmeric root. I know that sounds stupid. This
Oh
might sound
no.
crazy, but
This is
I've
the
been
time of
looking
year to
for it.
get it and make your shots.
Yes. So
Hmm.
it's a big deal, because I've been looking for, like, I got the fresh ginger and I got my fresh beets and things like that, but I had the hardest time finding turmeric root, and I have turmeric powder. You know what? Let us find our joys. That's just the bottom line. I'm happy about this. It was a big deal, and I was in El Corte Inglés, and I was like, yes. And I'm sure the Spanish people there were like, what the hell's wrong with this woman? Okay, so it was my happy time. I did the happy dance. So yes. What else? Okay, so I'm gonna save two. So you tell me what's going on in your world.
Well, things I was hoping to get done, I haven't really felt it. Like I have been once the time change, I hate it. I hate it.
Hmm.
It just, I mean, I can literally feel the energy pulling out of me. And so this is the things that I do have to take intention. And
Hmm.
so I've been kind of retooling my intention plans to first give myself some rest. So going to bed a little bit earlier, and then just saying, look, it's got to be done. And I literally, between now and the end of the year, I have some goals of the garage has got to be clean, different things have got to be done. And I've just been like, okay, but if your body is calling you to rest, rest. And so
Hmm.
that's, kind of centering that at the time. Like I said, the time change has, it's going to do what it does. And I know what usually happens to me this time of year, but listening to my body while I still stay focused on my goals is new, is a new
Hmm.
strategy for me. So yeah, and yesterday, Yolanda knows we have 3 kids. They're not kids; they're young adults. But our youngest voted for the first time.
Oh wow.
And so all 3 of our young adult kids voted yesterday, along with my husband and I, and that was really momentous for our family. My mother and all of our kids were born in Birmingham, Alabama, and so if you know anything about civil rights history, you know my mother, my parents lived in the deep South and fought for my right to vote,
Mhm.
along with other civil liberties. And so it was a beautiful thing to see our kids be intentional, to do their research, to feel that they had a safe space in our family to talk about, just what's happening in the world, but be determined to vote. And
Mhm.
that, I feel like that was a parent pat on the back moment, you know, like, we did something
Cool.
right. We
That's
did something
awesome.
right. So
Yes,
yeah.
I saw a lot of those posts, over the past, couple of weeks of like, yes, somebody that just turned 18, one of my life sisters, her, God, was it? I think it was, one of my life sisters, her daughter went and voted for the first time, I believe, and yes, and they, like, rang the bell, like, in the actual voting office in the place, in the election office, they actually, like, kinda like, whenever it was somebody's first time, they,
Move.
like, gave major
Yeah.
kudos, and that was pretty cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, they're calling them virgin voters. He didn't particularly care for that term, but
Wow.
the model Lupita,
Mhm.
she is a virgin voter as well, and so, just seeing
Oh,
people say
Lupita Nyong'o?
yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So she's been on social media talking about that. So, just really proud of because I'm thinking about how do I continue to connect with a process that it impacts my life, but it's not a part of my daily life anymore. Like the move abroad, I'm still going to be active. We were all about telling people about how to find out about, getting those absentee ballots and stuff like that. So yeah, this is,
Yeah.
I can't believe it. It's going to be our last in country election. So that's what's going on in my
Wow.
world, sister.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. And so let me go ahead here and just check out a couple of others and give acknowledgement. So let's see here. Thank you so much, Melanie. Yeah, I got the ugly walk. I got the gimp walk, but you know what? I'm happy that I'm able to still get around well enough. So thank you very much. And stuff. Let's see, and who else? So uh not before 10 is actually she was actually here last week or the week before for the meetup in Zaragoza. So hello, I'm not gonna say your name unless you say it's okay and stuff. So I'm not gonna put, oh, it says Rosalind. Okay, anyways, yeah, hey Rosalind. Okay. Sister. Hey. So she's still considering it. That was really cool because Rosalind actually came after she saw me being interviewed with Rashida, I guess a month or so ago, and she was like,
Mhm.
"I'm going to go to Zaragoza and hang out with him and see." And that's what she did. And we had a great time, and we sang. What is that damn song that we were singing? "Sweet Caroline." Because they don't have cool hip music here in Zaragoza, so we were jamming out to "Sweet Caroline."
Oh, so we need to bring some more karaoke options for us. Okay.
Yes, girl. We were enjoying it though. And so also, yeah, let me go ahead and jump back over here. We're going to get on point. We will get on point. We got some time, got a little bit of time and stuff. But, my favorite question, what do I like to ask? And please do share in the comments. How are you locating your cozy? What are you doing to find joy and peace? Little bitty things sometimes just make such a big difference, and it just gives you comfort, whether it's long term or just for a little while. What are you doing to locate your cozy and find some peace and joy? What steps are you taking to make
Mhm.
that a more permanent feeling of joy that you're doing the best to make yourself happy first? Do tell. I Now that I have to go, I got my appointment to go get my NIE card that says that I am a resident of Spain. I set that appointment today, and I got my pet sit in Portugal in December for 8 days, and I'm so tickled, and I'm trying to find something for like leading like for a week up to it, like before it, so I can stay for 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So, but I do have a 8-day pet sit in Portugal in December, so I'm excited about that. That's how I'm locating my joy. And I'm considering locating my joy in Vietnam in February, but we're not there yet. We'll see.
Ooh.
Um,
Oh, I
because
want to
if you
go
know, if you're
so
part of the
bad.
Exodus Summit, if you're part of the Exodus Summit community, they're planning a meetup in Vietnam in February. So You got to join the Exodus Summit community to really get those details up. But yes, how are you locating your cozy?
Look, I bought myself some yarn. Oh, hold on. I didn't
Oh,
realize I had it near me. And so I am starting a crochet project that I'm trying to finish
oh
before
wow.
Christmas. Yeah, so I've been doing them over the last year, and I'm on my last project. And it's kind of bittersweet. I'm doing it because it's something my grandmother did
Hmm.
for all of her grandkids, and that was she sewed a quilt for each of us. And so I crocheted blankets for my kids and my sister's kids. And so this last one is in the college football team colors that for my nephew. So I love crocheting, and this is the perfect time of year to start a crochet project. So I'm
Girl, I can't
literally
cross fingers, let's alone cross stitching or crocheting. No, girl.
I started it when I was waiting in line yesterday.
Wait a minute, hold that up again. You started that?
I did. I started it yesterday. So, yep, this is as much as I've gotten done in
Show
two
off.
days. Oh, no way. When you've done it, I mean, it was something that I learned to do when I was like maybe 8. So, yeah,
Hmm.
like second grade, third grade. And I put it down and then picked it back up when our kids were born, and then put it down again. Picked it back up because I wanted to start a mindfulness practice, and was just kind of, if a friend had a baby, I did them. And then now I'm just like, I'm doing this for me. And so like I said, this is doing something that I think my kid's great grandmother would have done if she was alive.
Wow,
So
that is beautiful.
I love it. I
Oh,
love
I
it.
do love that. I do love that. So let's see. Dr. Linda says she is enjoying how she's locating some of her cozy is that she is enjoying recording random YouTube videos, enjoying more playtime with the kids. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And stuff that's so cool and stuff. And Poetry says, I'm planning on going to the meetup. Oh, in Vietnam. Fingers crossed.
Yay.
Yeah, who's that? Rosalind was just saying, she's like, I don't know, I can't wrap my head around that 23-hour flight.
Yeah.
And yeah, but the thing is this, you think 23 hours straight, what about, like you come down to one part, you do like a few days layover or whatever stuff to enjoy like one area, and then you go on to the main destination
Mm-hmm.
stuff and split it up so it's not just like one big long 24-hour flight. Just an idea. Because it's still 9 hours from where I am here in Spain.
Oh, that's all. Oh,
Yep, that's it. But still, I'm just like, but I know me and I want to get like the good airline tickets because yeah, because well, I'm not gonna say what Stephanie said, so but she was like, be careful about the airlines that you pick. That's
yeah.
what she said, and I'm gonna follow her with that because I've never been to Vietnam. So, anyways, well, let's get started. Before we go, would like to give you a chance to introduce yourself. Everybody knows who you are, but let's act like you're brand new, okay? And you've never ever like showed your face on social media before.
Absolutely. So, thank you, my sister Yolanda, for inviting me. I'm Dee from H&D Abroad. My husband and I have a YouTube channel documenting our move abroad. Um, the Our action plans will lead us to a 2025 exit from the U.S. We are still, you know, we're doing all of the background things and leaving the place as the last piece of the puzzle.
Okay.
So we've been on that road since 2022. I think that was when it was around 2022 that you and I started communicating
Hmm.
and in community. And I think that this friendship has paid dividends well beyond my initial investment of saying, "Hey, girl, how you doing?" So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, and I just remember because I think that we actually really connected at the beginning of 2023 because that's when I gave up my apartment in Dallas and started pet
Mhm.
sitting full time. And
Mhm.
then when you did the live, it was like 5 of us, I think, that you did the live, like all the
Yeah.
Black women that were either on a house sit or pet sit at the same time. You got
Yes.
like 5 of us on there, and it was so cool just to talk and just to share experiences. And, it's like if you haven't heard about you had the bear in the front yard and
Oh,
okay.
y'all, I have had it was the bear last year. It was a deer that literally came to the front door this year. So yeah, house sitting, pet sitting, adventures brought us together, but the sisterhood keeps us together for sure.
Yes, it's definitely grown. It's definitely grown. So today I wanted to, and again, so let me just take a moment just to say, I understand that a lot of us are feeling a certain way right now. Um, but I'm not going to give that any power right now. Besides acknowledging that I understand the frustration and how you might be feeling, but for
Mhm.
the purpose of this, since I do the weekly vlogs or do the live streams now regularly,
Mhm.
um, I wanted to take this time to just share information. Um, I do understand your pain, but I don't want to spend the hour or the next hour talking about something that brings so much pain when I really want to focus on what we can do to bypass or get over or go through this pain and move on to something bigger. That's what
Absolutely.
that's what I'm hoping for. Okay. So that's why we're
Absolutely.
here. Okay. So I don't want to make it seem like I'm taking or diminishing anybody's experience or how they're feeling. I'm just saying I want to use my platform today to focus on how we can go through it.
Absolutely. And I love the title that you chose, Yolanda, Pacing Yourself to Move Abroad from the US within 6 months, because I think, um, everybody's journey is different, but
Mhm.
all of our journeys usually include these core steps.
Mhm.
So whether you're choosing to leave, whatever your timeline is, we're going to be talking about the basic components that you should be touching in some way. That may have I took a pass at that. Sometimes it's going to come, you're going to continue that. It's not, I have started it and I've completed it. It could be that I start it, I do a little bit more research, I make a decision, I do a little bit more research, I make I add in something to,
Yeah.
to that decision. So it is always evolving. And I think there's no one way or right way. It's got to be the process that fits with your life and your goals.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
Because yeah, it's not just a one and done. It is a journey. It's like I'm here in Spain now, and I moved here in April, but it was not just a like, oh, I just decided, one week and then I was like, bye y'all. No, that's not how it worked. Literally, it was a once I came to the epiphany that this is where I wanted to be, there was still a whole year's journey leading up to it before I
Mhm.
actually got here. And then I still had to go through the visa application here. So I want everybody to understand and understand the need for the patience to keep moving the pieces, to keep taking the steps to get to where you want, but understand that you still have to be patient. And in your patient, it doesn't mean that you're not doing anything at
Mhm.
all. Okay, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So I also wanted to take a moment just to acknowledge a couple of things. One is that earlier today, Rashida and Stephanie from Exodus Summit did do a live to really kind of, I guess, give us our cheers, give us our calm, give us our support that we needed, that they felt like compelled to come on and just speak on to say Black
Mhm.
women. You know, I know most of my platform, most people that are watching me here are Black women, and just saying that we're going to be okay, and that this should not stop you from still go. It should even encourage you more to
Mhm.
really push forward and push through to get to your next step, whatever it is, whether you want to move to or just country hop, whatever it is. This should be an encouragement to continue on and not feel defeated. And so, therefore, I want to acknowledge them for coming up and speaking. And now we're here to piggyback on them. Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. The whole conversation this morning, that I felt like we had already planned to go live, but
Mhm.
to acknowledge that, look, if you've had a plan, now let's take some action on that plan. If this is new to you, welcome. There's a circle of folks that are already of other Black women that are already on this path, that are in community, that are benefiting from our collective knowledge, um, and and the invitation to be in community together is out there. So what do you do with it once you are involved? And so, like Yolanda's saying, what we say is join Exodus Summit. It is a Facebook group. It is an event. I
Mhm.
was a speaker this year.
Yes, you were.
Stephanie
Yes, you were.
Perry Stephanie Perry and Rashida Dow are co-founders, but what has happened in that group is that we are invited to communicate together, to connect to each other. So that's why there are folks in here from the Texas group. There are folks on the live today that are in the We Out group, that all of us are saying our desire is to be in places that bring us joy, that give us rest, relief from a lot of the issues and pressures that we have in the States, or want to connect differently in the world. So what do you want to do first? I think one of the first things we talked about was
Get that
you can't do
passport.
any of what we're talking about without a passport.
Yes.
It
That.
is fundamental, and you can't leave without a passport. Your children cannot leave without a passport. Your parents cannot come with you if you're a caregiver. And so that's probably one of the most critical things is a passport, I believe, is $160 US dollars this year. I might be quoting the book and the passport card, but
I'm just going to put the
um,
link
it's
for
less
the
than
U.S. passport.
$200. And so if you need to set aside $10 a pay period, or find 10 ways to earn $10, or 16 ways to earn $10, whether that is I'm going to not eat out for breakfast or eat out for lunch so that I can put that toward getting a passport. But it is literally the document that allows you to legally be in a new place. um, and and that it's probably one of the best gifts. I'm glad that I was able to give our kids. They may not see the vision, they may not understand it, but I want to make sure that my people, my mother, my sister, my nieces and nephews, my brother-in-law, that everybody has a passport, so that when they're ready to take action, they're not waiting in line.
Yeah.
That's another, that's an important step to take.
And even before this happened, that what happened in the past 24 hours happened, I have a family member that's in San Diego, and I have a family member that's in North Carolina, and that are both older. And it was just, well, one of them was like, I'm not getting on no plane, but she kind of saw, like, my daughter had her 80-year-old grandmother come to visit just like 2 weeks ago, walking around, and man, she was like on it, just like we were like, "Do you need to slow down?" She's like, "No, I'm fine." Anyways, that's another subject. But but with that, I was telling some family member that was in San Diego and in North Carolina, in Raleigh area, that just what happened. And finally, both of them at different points said, okay, I need to get my passport.
Mhm.
One doesn't even know where her original passport is because it's been so long since she's flown.
Mhm.
But I was like, okay, so what do I need to do? You need to get your birth certificate, get that information together, and here's the link so you can fill it out. Do you need me to help you fill it out?
Mhm.
To complete the online form, whatever it is. Uh, Not trying to be pushy, but being strongly encouraging. Okay, strongly encouraging.
Hey, forget Black Friday.
Hmm.
Get a passport.
Yeah. And the
Yeah,
bottom line is this also is however we may feel about the US right now, that's still a very strong passport.
absolutely.
It still is a very strong passport, and stuff. And so until that changes, get it,
Get
get
it.
it, get it.
Get it.
Okay. So
Yeah.
one of the things I wanted to make sure also is like, again, Dee and I, I'd say we're rooted from the same desire, but our journeys have been very different. Again, I moved here to Spain back in April. I'm single. I'm not married. I didn't have a house or anything like that. So our journeys, there's different situations, different journeys, different perspectives. So we wanted to be able to share with everyone because you know, if you attended Exodus Summit, you saw in detail about all the things that you might have in your mind that says, I cannot,
Mhm.
just being knocked down, knocked down. You got kids, that's okay. There's a way around that. That's okay. You got elderly parents, that's okay. There's a way around that too. Let's talk about it. So we're giving the more, I guess, condensed version of that, but just letting you know that there are so many reasons why you might feel like it's not time to get started on the possibility of finding your peace and happiness or your journey or whatever it is.
Mhm.
Um, Start taking the steps now, you know, and we're going to go through some types of different steps in just a few minutes, but definitely it's all stems from a common bond that you want. There's so much more opportunities in this big world that we've been fooled to believe that only in one area can you be happy, and it's in a system that will make you go broke if you get sick. Okay, so there's so much more out there, so we just want you to understand that just because you might feel like you have no way out, there
Mhm.
is, but there is certain preparation that you have to do. Number one, get your passport.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Get your passport. And then, I did not say this earlier, but I think it was important from our starting point was I had to decide why I was leaving. And so once I got really clear about why I was leaving, like that was my motivation. So when I would get down in this process, these um these steps, I'd go back to, okay, so why is this important to me? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I want better health. I want more time to take care of myself. What do you want in this world, and what problem or issue or solution does the move abroad process solve for you?
Yes. And another thing before we go past the passport thing is also if you have a passport and you need to renew it now. Don't wait until like it's like, 2 months before it expires. You need to have your passport renewed within 6 months, 6 months prior to it expiring, and also make sure that you have enough pages, empty pages on your passport, because that's
Mm,
another reason why they might be like, we can't stamp your passport, or we can't do whatever it is that they do, whether it's digital, whatever, if you don't have enough pages. So I just wanted to put that out there and make sure everybody knows that
mhm,
if you have a passport, look at the expiration date and find out. And if it expires, like in, I'll say, if it expires in 2026 or at the end of 2025, go ahead and get that renewed now. Don't
mhm.
wait, please. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now. Okay.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
Okay, so one of the things, and I have it like, we say 6 months, but we're giving like nuggets of like things, steps you can take. Please understand, we don't know all the answers. We can't sit down and write out every single thing that you need to do. That's why you have to do your own due diligence. You have to do your own research. I strongly suggest that wherever you decide, if you're trying to go and make a long-term stay at, whether it's 6 months or a year, make sure that you either get with a good quality facilitator or solicitor or attorney in that country, preferably,
Mhm.
that can actually help you. Because I don't know if that's always the case, but sometimes when you go to an attorney based in the US, you might find yourself paying a whole lot more money, whether if you just went or worked with somebody that was already there. Okay, and
Mhm.
get references. Don't just like not just anybody, somebody
Yeah,
that's already gone through the journey. Okay, I'm gonna leave that. So
100%.
one of the first things that and Tanya said is like you have to get your money right. Yeah, yeah,
Can't go nowhere.
please, yeah. Don't pack up and be like, I got 30 days of money and savings here and stuff, and that's gonna have to do, and I'm gonna figure it out. Um, Unless you got some great resources and where you're going to, please don't do that. One of the things that you want to really consider when looking at the financial part is the total cost. Who was that? I think it was, Krishan from Black Set Global did a full breakdown a couple of
Mhm.
weeks ago of like all the things that you wouldn't even consider would be the cost of actually moving abroad. So these are things, but I'm just going to name a couple, like relocation costs. I ended up paying because I had like 3 pieces of luggage, big luggage that when I came here, I didn't want to be kind of, with it on at the airport or on the train. So I actually used Send My Bag to send my big pieces of luggage, 3 big pieces, over here to Spain. And it cost me, I think total for the three, it was like $600. So these are
Okay.
things that you have to consider.
Mhm.
Um, what your housing is going to look like as you transition, maybe from like while you're still in the States, if you sell your home before you leave, where are you going to stay before you actually go?
Mhm.
Have you done I guess, a scouting trip to just to go and check and see what areas or what actually might work for you? Have you talked to a relocation tour guide? Yeah,
Mhm.
relocation facilitator that can actually help you have a good idea of where you might want to go and stay, transportation, all those kind of things, and then creating a timeline for saving money. Are you still going to be saving money? Please do give your input. It's a
Yeah,
lot.
one of the things that that when you move, there are general moving costs. A lot of what I'm reading about is I did not plan to stay in an Airbnb as long as I did, which is going to be more expensive than getting into an apartment, which then the costs are a little bit more to what people are reporting on other YouTube channels. So if people are saying, "Oh, it was only $350 a month," that's because they've probably signed a lease. If they were doing Airbnb, it's probably that or more per week. So
Mhm.
I think there are the anticipated costs, which is what the budget I want to pay every month. But your startup costs are going to probably be double that at least because of the flexibility you need to have in your budget for travel costs, for in country things too. So where is my money coming from? Savings is what I'm learning, is you don't want to leave just on savings. You need to
Right.
have some income coming in, even if it's just I've got some streams and I'm going to build more. At least have those set up and not just coming over on savings, because you'll go through that money a whole lot faster. So from the way that I'm providing advice, y'all, is I'm on a tight budget. I have to work. I don't have residual income from properties and things like that we would anticipate. And so we would have to take a job or jobs or some passive income streams with us to make sure that we were replenishing our savings and having a defined budget that is just for what is it going to take to leave the country, land, and then live for those first 2 or 3 months that might not be in the place, my permanent location. So, because how long did it, let's see, so your transition, Yolanda, was from, you stayed with
I stayed
your
with my daughter
daughter
when I
for a little
first got
bit?
there. Because my situation, because people hear like my situation and they're like, oh, wow, it's that easy? No. No. Things kind of fell into place and I'm so thankful. But that was also because again, I got the attorney like a year ago. So he told me exactly what to do. I have a
Mhm.
daughter and son-in-law that were already here, that are here already. So I had a soft landing regarding that. So I had a place to stay until my flat was ready in July. So, you know, these were things that made me coming here a little bit easier. That may not be the situation for everybody else. I'm going to also just put out here because Kyoka, the Aqua Black Nomad, said for dog owners, expect pet fees and extra stash in case travel plans don't work out. Okay,
Mhm.
especially if you're traveling with the dog. You know, yeah, these are considerations that you have to. And not saying that everybody. You know, I didn't come up with a big stash of money. I just happened to get a great client right before I left. I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, I was like, we're gonna make this work one way or another. But had I not had the support from my family here, I would not have just like jumped up and said, well, we just gonna go. Okay. So I had a little bit of cushion. One of the other things, like just managing your expenses, the golden rule should be that you take care of all your debt, any credit card debt, before you go bopping around or move to another country.
At
That
least
is,
know, at least know what your bills are,
yes.
what that you
Sit
owe, so
down
that
and
you.
really look at, really don't be like, I guess this is what's in this account, and I guess I owe this much, and I guess, well, I think I'll only owe $200 on my car if I sell it back once I. No, no, no. Please don't go on guesses. That can be so detrimental to your entire experience. And then you'll be like, man, bopping around or moving to another country is not all it's cracked up to be because you weren't prepared. Okay. So really do sit down and know your finances. I've said this before. I had credit card debt when I came here. Okay. I did not want to wait another year to move here and stay in the US. I was like, I just don't want to do it.
Mhm.
But with that, I knew exactly how much I had in credit card debt and I had a plan to pay it off. And I also made sure that I'm not incurring more debt. Whatever I do have to use my credit card for here in Spain, it's paid off every month. And my cost of living is really, really a lot lower here. But it's not only just paid off, but I'm also paying down. So like by June next year, everything will be cleared up. And and I have all faith in that. But yeah, please don't. I can only suggest to you, please don't come here with credit card debt and then be still trying to live off your credit cards. Yeah.
Yeah, I am moving. So you all have heard me say it on my channel before. I'm moving for peace. And so
Mhm.
the way I'm keeping peace centered is I'm trying not to incur more debt. And so trying to give myself a little bit of a buffer is why savings is important. It's why an emergency fund is important to us, even if it's not stacked the way I want it. At least you have these pots that you can draw from where you're not back against the wall immediately. And that means that also has meant for us having, let's see, what did we say? Every dollar has a name. We're telling every dollar where to go. And so instead of saying a budget, I'm saying we're telling every dollar that we make that you are assigned to do this thing for
Mhm.
us. And so I know exactly how much money is set aside for what do we call it, ride share. I know exactly how much money is set aside for food, so that I don't have so many unpredictable things that I end up at the end of the month, or at the end of
Mhm.
my money going, what happened to it? So
Yes.
if you aren't used to that, for those of us who are leaving on a budget or are leaving with a very narrow band of how are we going to start this move abroad life, beginning to build some of those habits before you leave, some of that thought process. I see that Lori from our We Are Out group says she's got a bunch of different checklists that she's pulling ideas from.
Mhm.
Definitely being in the space where you're listening to somebody talk about um, what is it? Let's see. So Adelia talks about your old money. She's talking about, the different pots that you need to have available to you, so that you're not caught by surprise.
Yeah.
Because for a lot of us, we're leaving from places that it's going to cost some money to come back. And
Yeah.
so you want to keep that financial in mind. Yep.
Yes. And I was just going to say here, Positively Pro said sometimes moving abroad and cutting, uh,
Cost of
what's that?
living.
Oh, cost of
Yeah.
living. I'm sorry. Can help pay down the debt faster, and it's true
Yes.
because I think about when my client, when that assignment ended, the money that I had saved up would last me 4 months, 4 or 5 months. If I was still paying $2,000 a month in rent and 800 and something dollars a month for car payment insurance, that would have been gone within 2 months.
Hmm.
And so I know, yeah, I completely agree with that. Of course, the big thing is to understand that you're paying down debt to not make it where you're incurring more debt. Okay, so definitely, but I do agree that yes, that lower cost of living can actually help in the end. Um, so we talked about okay, transferring funds, how to have access to your funds. Um, Knowing these are things that you need to know about. I don't have a Spanish bank account yet. I use Wise, and I make sure that when I do use Wise, I transfer funds from my US bank account into USD to Wise, and then I convert it within Wise to Euro before I pull it out. Okay.
Hmm.
The problem was that the 3 or 4 times that I've used the ATM here with my Wise card, I didn't realize that it was automatically pulling from my USD account in Wise, and it was charging me some crazy fees, and I couldn't figure out. So then there is a way that you can actually have it. If you have, okay, so this is just some information that I just got. So
Okay.
if you have the currency in USD on your Wise account,
Hmm.
in order for it not to pull automatically, if you have to go to the ATM, they have what they call a holding, it's like a jar. It's a jar account. It's a holding account within the app where you can transfer your USD currency into that jar. So then it doesn't automatically pull. It'll pull from the Euro currency instead of the USD.
Oh,
Yes.
writing that down, ladies and gentlemen.
And also with Wise, just FYI, they can be very specific about which ATMs banks you can go to and get money out. You can't just, because I went to a BBVA the other day.
Yay.
I thought, oh yeah.
Hmm.
They were like, Visa was like, nah, mm-mm. Yeah. And so I called customer service, and they actually sent me a link to like some of the global ATM machines, banks that actually will accept a Wise card. I mean, I could use it in the grocery store if I needed to, but not like I was having problems getting cash out, which I rarely do anyways. So,
Hmm.
anyways, let's go ahead. Do you have something else that you wanted to add on that, please?
Let's see. Yeah, I'm trying these out before I leave because I don't want to have to figure it out when I get on the ground. Like, let me make my mistakes while I still have my regular job and, can kind of buffer myself with some of this. So I see luxury bucket list talking about, getting on a budget with your partner. If you have a partner that you're leaving with, kind of learning to track your expenses. The exchange rate is an unexpected thing for a lot of us. We haven't had to think about that before.
Mm,
So that can fluctuate your rent, your, things that you're paying on the ground, especially if you're pulling from USD, depending on the market and how it's doing the day that you're transferring funds. But also how you transfer funds may need a little bit more time or a little bit more thought process. So,
mhm.
Yolanda, I'm hoping that you're going to do something talking about WISE. Um, your tips for using WISE.
Yes, it's a
'Cause I need
great
it.
tool. It's a great tool, and I'll have to try to do something later on. I'm still learning, so just FYI, I know you don't want to make no mistakes when you get here. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna
That
learn,
part.
and yeah. Like I've been charged some fees when I didn't know what I was doing with Wise, and I was like, I'm never gonna get my $12 back. I want it back and stuff. But yeah. So there's some things that I'm learning out of convenience. But now that I've got I'm going to pick up my NIE card, my ID card for Spain next month and stuff. I'm going to go open up a bank account and go from there. So another thing that I wanted to touch on is mental preparation.
Yes.
It's exciting. It's wonderful. It's like you got goals. Like I am out. You still need to acknowledge what you're the idea of what you're giving up, and also the maybe fear, concern, mental conundrum of going into something that you have no idea. It's like all brand new.
Change is
Um,
hard, y'all.
yes,
Change is hard. I mean, you're asking your brain to rewire.
yeah,
Not just from a language perspective, it's new smells, it's new places, things you have to figure out. And a lot of our lives, if you've lived in the same place or in the same home, it's familiar. There's a lot less emotional effort, a lot of mental power. You haven't had to, I'm going to get on this bus and I'm going to go to this customer service and debate them on this phone bill. I've never had to do that in a different language. And so
mhm.
it sometimes that can build up. And so I think being aware that you're going to have challenges, like you said before, like you said, hey, look, they're just opportunity costs. They're going to be, but
Because if you
having
think you're going to
having
another country, go
yeah,
ahead.
no. What I've had to say is, look, I am resilient, and I need to lean into those resiliency skills, but I also need to pace myself. I need to have a good support group. I need to have a counselor on speed dial if that is a part of how I do it. Because y'all, it's so much new at one time. And especially if you're
Absolutely.
not going somewhere where you're already in community with people, can really cause a lot of stress and strain.
It is. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to like share this in the group here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be growing pains, but you have to learn for yourself and for the people that are with you. You might be bringing friends or family, excuse me, a spouse, a significant other, kids, elderly parents, that you have to be able to adjust and go through it and learn and be like, okay, so this is the situation. Am I going to have a fit and just be like, I ain't doing this? Because you can't. Let me tell you something. What you can't do there is tell somebody you better fix this.
I am a guest in somebody's country. They not about to try to change for me.
There's a way to actually approach somebody, and you will figure that out in a not kiss butt way, but in a humbling manner that
Yeah.
says, "Can you please help me?" And they may or may not. Case in point, I think I told you about how my sister-in-law came to visit last week, and they lost her luggage.
Hmm.
It When they finally found it, it had never even left Houston. Okay, we got it back the day before she left, but it had never left Houston. Okay, when we first called Iberia, and it was they spoke English. I asked for English customer service. Baby, she got on the phone. The lady got on the phone with me and stuff, and I was like, "Here's the claim number. Here's this." And she's like, "We don't know where it is yet." I'm like, "Well, how long? We don't know where it is yet. So we'll let you know." It was like there was no compassion. There was no like, "Ma'am, I'm sorry that you're going through this right now. I feel bad." There was nothing. It's like, "We'll let you know when we know." Okay. Not
Wow.
saying that is not saying I don't wanna make it sound like that's how customer service is across the board, because the next day, 2 days later, I dealt with somebody who was completely different and did show some compassion. So
Good.
I'm not saying, but at the time when the lady said, "We don't know," and I'm not gonna give you no other answers, I'm like, "Well, I can't be like, 'Well, this is not good enough.'" Okay, bye. Okay.
Something, I- some things you just let some things roll.
You just
You
and
choose your battles. Choose your battles. You talked about being in Rabat and the taxi.
oh my gosh,
I was just
yes.
like, woosah.
Yeah, I got for that taxi, man, yeah. And what I'm gonna do? Jump out and be like, "Hell no." What you gonna do? Okay.
That's it. It's fine. Like I said, if you can get in community with some folks that are there before you land, intentionally meet people. When I talk about taking care of your emotional self, if you need a hug, you need to like create a group of people that it won't be odd that you're asking for a hug, or for someone to show you empathy, like a listening
That
ear,
part.
because they understand the transition that you're making because they've made it.
Mhm.
That can be so pivotal, is having a community of people who understand that adjustment and can continue to encourage you and to help you to, or encourage you to be in a mindset of this transition of
Mhm.
newness on top of newness is normal,
Yes.
and that you are not alone, and that,
Yes.
to me, that's powerful.
And so that's, for me now that I do have my space here, and I've had so many Black women. I think overall since I've been here, I think I've had like total between Madrid and Zaragoza, I've had like total of 15 Black women visiting. And I want to be that, and that's not to be taken advantage of. It's like, but I want to let them know that you have a soft landing of sorts where I can be here to give you some guidance, or even before you get here, I try to share as much information as possible about the journey.
Mhm.
But it's very it's good to have somebody that you can turn to. And it doesn't have to be like I belong to the Girl Gone International group here in Zaragoza, that I've been able to really connect with some wonderful women that are not Black women, but they've still, just from all over the world, that have been, really wonderful, really wonderful. But it's just very important that to one, have that support network, to open yourself up to even beforehand sometimes to get that information about how different cultures do things, how they might communicate. um, you're not going to know everything, but it's good to start to do your research. And of course, always, if you can, start taking some language classes. Yeah,
Look, that
definitely.
part, that part. There's a point that I also wanted to bring up, is loneliness.
Mhm,
Loneliness is different from being homesick. I think, in my mind,
mhm,
I've separated the two. I don't have a definitive definition that says it, but longing for what is familiar is homesickness to me. And so I want to make sure that even when I'm doing my decluttering, I'm looking at, is there a smell? Are there pictures or something that helps a place go from being foreign, or when I say foreign, that's not probably the best word to use here, but there's so much that is unfamiliar to me.
Yeah.
What could help build that, the familiarity
Bringing
back?
little pieces of home or
Bring
something, just
little
not
pieces of
everything,
home. Yeah.
not
Yeah.
everything, but
So,
little
yeah,
pieces, yeah, that
those
can make
those
it.
things are so important. And then anticipating that eventually you're going to want to talk to someone who knows your experience. A girlfriend that I interviewed on our channel, I mean, they've moved several times, and she was like, "Yes, I'm in a country where there are Black people with brown skin like mine, but when I'm doing a Missy Elliott reference, when I'm doing when I want to talk Black culture, people who understand that, there's just something that just, I need that. Someone, if I sometimes I feel like young people are moving abroad and I'm not young. And so some of those spaces, so I got to find my tribe. I have to be
Yeah.
intentional about finding those folks and connecting, so that I have a I have a way to guard against that loneliness factor where I feel alone. I feel without connection. Um,
Mhm.
and so sometimes, as someone who has had, some bouts of depression over my life,
Mhm.
I know that I'm going to need to have those connections. This is why I get in the Facebook groups. It's why I'm finding out who's there and what are y'all doing and what's the WhatsApp groups, because caring for my emotional well-being is important. But those same groups, those same connections are going to be helpful to me, and that I also hope to give back on. You and I talked about that with Stephanie Perry. Is,
Mhm.
look, I'm in here, I'm learning things, and guess what? Somebody else is going to come behind me who
Yep.
probably has the same questions, and so I can show myself to be friendly as
Yes.
well.
It's like, yeah, as much as you are receiving, and taking in and gaining knowledge, in the end, you want to also return, replenish,
Absolutely.
somebody else help somebody else grow in their knowledge. Another thing I wanted to go ahead and talk about was the emotional, and we've talked about it somewhat, don't get me wrong, but discussing not just the emotional, not keeping that emotion to yourself, um, discussing it with family, to um, to to be vulnerable with your family, to if you have kids that you're bringing over, um,
Mhm.
allowing them the voice to say how they're feeling about it, whether they're scared or they don't care or whatever it is, and then letting them know. And also, if it's your mate, to let them know, and being vulnerable to say, like, I'm scared. I'm not sure about this. I'm kind of freaking out. Yeah, it's okay. And if you don't have, the kids, I don't have, well, yeah, the kids, or well, that are coming with me or whatever. If I don't have a significant other, if you don't, um, we have each other here. Can we
Mhm.
share the story? Can we share the story?
Let's
When I
go.
lost my mind. So for anybody that don't know, it was probably maybe a week.
Hmm.
It was less than a week before I was getting ready to move here to Spain, doing all the things, going down my checklist of trying to sell my car and get rid of things and just everything. And I hit a just wall and said to myself, "Self, who the hell do you think you are doing this? What
Hmm.
gives you the right to think that you could just up and just move to Spain from the US, and thinking that you're just gonna be living the good life?" And I called my wonderful friend here, and
Good.
I was ugly crying. I say this every time. I was ugly crying, just emotional, because I was in that mode of, how dare you think you can?
Mm.
So that's what I'm talking about, the emotional consideration, because it may not happen. You might just be like up and be out and be like deuces and don't care. Okay. And nothing really, just like, it doesn't bother you. But for those that actually do or might have that kind of emotional, it might have an emotional effect on you, whether it's you, your kids, your significant others. Yes, and exactly. Where you are
Yes.
literally questioning all of your like decisions, everything,
Yes.
everything. And so
Woo.
again, whether it's a family member or a dear life sister, or a great wonderful friend that you can depend on, and that's what I love about the Exodus Summit, because there's nobody. Very rarely have I ever seen it, like another woman trying to put you down within this group, saying, "Well, then I don't think you need to do it." Yeah, just stop, girl. What are you doing? How, they're not gonna. Literally, Nika was like, "You're gonna be fine. It's okay." She heard me, and I
Hey,
felt validated, and it was amazing. And then I was like, okay,
we
and I was
we
fine.
do we do the hard things. We do things scared. And but when you know there are people behind you saying, "Girl, you can do it." I mean, worst case scenario, you got to come back, reset. You have to, it's never going to
Yeah,
be it's a no, never. Not ever.
right. So, if you have a therapist, if you have, because we're not your therapist, we're cool, but I'm not your therapist. So don't be like, well, Yolanda said what I need to do is like journal and write. Yeah, that is cool. But really, I would strongly encourage you, if you're going through some things, to really utilize resources and mental health. If you still have that job, or if or if you know how to get something on a sliding scale or whatever it is, I don't know, better help or whatever. They're not sponsoring her, and we're not getting paid. But
Right.
whatever it is that you need to fill your whole self,
Yes.
to bring out the best version of yourself, so that you can keep moving to what you really, really want.
Mhm.
How about that?
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah. Good coping skills, effective coping skills, learning to feel your feelings, to identify how you feel. If you've not taken time to recognize how emotions show up in your body, they're going to show up. This whole
Mhm.
process, y'all. I mean, when I say turning it on its head, if you've not dealt with, if you've been an avoidant, please work with a therapist to get good coping skills um, where you're not exposing yourself to strategies that are not productive to you, where you can say, it's okay to feel sad, it's okay to cry, it's okay to be angry, it's okay to whatever your process is. I experience it, and it's a valid feeling or feelings. I have somewhere to put that. I have, someone that can help me, guide me, teach me into the right things, the how to get in a good mindset. Resiliency skills
Mhm.
are learned and they are practiced. And so if you've not learned them or had an opportunity or the need to feel like you've needed to practice it, because everything around you, we've built a very comfortable life. This life is going to require that you have those intentional skills and that you know how to nourish yourself.
And also, I want to say, having those coping skills is going to help you get past the naysayers.
Yes.
You know who I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Okay. You got somebody that's like, really? That's what you about to do? Okay. Or just putting the fear in
They
you.
don't like they don't like us over there.
Yeah. I don't like
You
how they
think they
look at
like
you.
me
I
here?
can't, they're gonna be staring at you and stuff, because they ain't seen no black people. Girl, okay, look. Okay. So yes. Um, yes, and thank you, Tanya, for actually saying, also access, yeah, your employee EAP benefits. If you're still working for, the company and you have access to that, utilize it. It's a benefit.
Mhm.
Don't
Mhm.
feel guilty about utilizing it. Use it. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so,
Yeah.
so let's see, building new strategies. We have like a checklist of what we want to talk about. So we'll
Yes,
just
yes, yes. I came back to the checklist.
okay. So last but not least, I did want to put out here was your physical preparation. Don't I would suggest to you that you not travel blindly and just be like, I guess I'm okay. There's it's good to have. I mean, bring your medical records. Get all your medical records. Yes, it is less expensive in most other parts of the world to get the care that you need medically.
Mhm,
I need to put the link for the what is that? Disabled diva Eve Clark, when she
mhm,
talked about how her and her husband, she has MS and she has a lung disease, and she's been traveling. Her and her husband been bopping around for a couple of years now,
mhm.
happy as I don't know what, and getting the best care
During the
around the world.
pandemic, on top of that, I was like,
Oh,
"Come on now, girl. If you can do
yeah.
it with those health
Pandemic
issues,
stuff.
you can definitely."
Yeah, it's doable. It's very
Mhm,
doable. But please don't go into go just blindly, like, again, just thinking that, yes, I guess I'm okay. There's so many great resources out there, but get your medical records together.
mhm,
Have those with you, either, to either like put it on make copies to put it onto a flash or somewhere in the cloud or wherever you need, but have that information so that if you have a medical emergency, or if you're just going to be moving to another country, you just need to get your annual stuff done.
mhm,
Have the information so that they will have the full medical history for you. If there's vaccinations that needs to be done, understand that. Find that out based on where you're going. Now that I am a resident of Spain, I have access to the public health, but I do have some other issues. Like I've had, like, knee issues, and then I did the splits, and okay. And so now I'm like really scared that it's going to come back up. But I opted to get the premium private healthcare. And for me, it was I'm a 55. I'm 55. Wow. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Because I was used to saying 54. I was like 55. Damn. Okay. But for my private health care or health insurance here, it was 267 per quarter euro, and that was the premium top tier, and that was includes no copays, no deductibles
that's the way to
at
go.
all.
That's the way to go.
Yeah,
Bring your medical records. Don't A lot of folks are saying, go ahead and get your annual physical before you leave,
yeah,
so that
I
you're
did. Yeah,
aware of any health issues that you that you're on, any medication. Bring your medications with you in the bottles so that you can have them refilled. Please do not. Okay, so I'm just going to go through all the things. Please do not come with only 1 week or 2 weeks worth of your medicines because you think you can get them cheaper in country. Y'all, come on, take care of yourselves. Make sure that
bring
you
at least 90
know.
days, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. Try to get at least 90 days and then get on it. Get in. Um, Bring documentation that you've had medical insurance. And if you can go ahead and sign up for the country's some kind of medical coverage before you leave so that there's not a gap.
Hmm.
Please do that. So, those of us who are 50 plus, those are my messages that I'm paying attention to is, if you have pre-existing conditions, find out what that is. You can still get insurance. This is something that I found in one of the expat Facebook groups is you can get the insurance, but they will not cover your pre-existing if you have any care that is needed for those pre-existing conditions. Because a lot of the things you can pay out of pocket for, but if I have some kind of catastrophic, that's what I'm concerned about is if I have a car accident or if I need to have emergency surgery for my appendix or something like that, I want to have coverage to cover those things. So understand the the insurance market as much as you can. Understand how to what your current health conditions are, so that you're continuing to manage them and working with a care provider when you get in country. Because I asked about diabetes medication, I asked about different things, and people were like $2 or $3, 2 or 3 euros, 20 to 30 pesos. What we're paying here in the States, but don't take that for granted. I feel like some people take it for granted that if I'm on these medications in the States, I'm going to be feeling so much better. I don't need to continue those things when I leave.
Please don't do that.
Please
Yeah.
care for your physical health, and then get in there and get the best of the beautiful things. Because like no copay, like I don't even know of a health insurance because it's annual enrollment with my job now, and I was like, ugh, more copays, higher
Yeah.
copays, higher insurance fees.
And Positively Prill said, yeah, make sure you ask your pharmacist to provide your meds in a blister pack with the full prescription sticker to prevent any issues at customs.
Yeah.
Oh, I always, not knock on wood, I have not had any problems because I be having my big old Ziploc bag full of like my vitamins, my fish oil, my everything, and then plus whatever medications and stuff. And yeah, like I knock on wood, I've never had a problem with that. They're like, yeah, here you go, girl. Yeah,
Yeah,
take all your good
I
stuff.
keep them. I keep them. I try to keep them in the bottles
Yeah,
because if I need to get them refilled while I'm there because of some unforeseen circumstance, that's just from the traveler standpoint.
yeah.
But the pacing yourself to move abroad, where we are highlighting different categories that you should have some concept of. This is how I'm doing it in the States, and this is how I want to continue or transform that as a part of my move abroad.
Mhm.
None of this, I think, is not doable in a 6 month period of time. I think some of this is I want to get my train on the right track.
Yep.
Okay. And so that's what I'm doing within the 6 months. Some things people are saying I can't leave without having this answered. I cannot leave if I've got a serious medical condition. I can't not know if the city that I'm moving to or has the hospitalization that I need to have access to, or the specialists I need to have access to, or I can't leave here without a remote job. If those are the most important things, if you didn't do anything else, decide the 2, 3 things that are the most important to you, and start them early. We haven't talked about decluttering and all the other things that need to happen when you're moving abroad, but literally you are transforming your life. And so most of us have built a whole life here in the States. Many of us that are 50 plus have had 50 years of stuff and emotions and attachments. And so it's going to take time, but you can put your train on the right sets of track to move you from where you are to the place that you want to be in 6 months or whatever timeline works best for you.
And one last thing I wanted to add, because when you said that about like the decluttering, I remember literally when I let go of my apartment back in January of last year, I, I had only lived there for a year, but I knew I was getting rid of everything because I was like, I'm not taking all this stuff with me to Spain. So, or wherever I was going, because at the time I didn't know I was moving to Spain when I let my apartment go. But with that, allowing yourself to mourn, allowing yourself to
Mhm.
mourn and I think I said this already before, but especially when you're getting rid of stuff, whether you're donating, just allowing it, not saying that you should keep it. I'm saying allowing yourself to go through the emotions and then move through it and move forward.
Mhm.
And that's a lot of what I've seen or I've heard definitely with people that are decluttering, especially if they have, again, years and years of things that it's so hard. It's such a big emotion that they're like, girl, you're being silly. It's just a thing. It matters to you. So that's okay. Acknowledge it, make decisions, and then move forward through it. But don't discount whatever emotions that you might be going through on this journey.
Mhm.
Just
Mhm.
please don't let it stop you from pushing through and moving forward. That's my big, I hope that's one of the biggest takeaways right here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I This process can work for every age and every stage of your life. If you have not used YouTube in this way before, there are lots of channels that you can choose from that center the part of the process that you feel like I need to know more about. There's somebody talking about it. Yolanda's channel is sharing her journey. These lives are a way where you can ask questions from someone who has done it. Um, if you are trying to find answers this morning, because I'm doing my first pet sit internationally, and I was like, how do I get from the airport using the metro to taking the bus to the city where I'm doing my house sit? Several people were talking about it. And so I'm using it as a learning tool from different sources, just like Lori was talking about. Now I've got several different perspectives and I'm putting them together to take action on my plan.
Mhm.
So I'm so grateful that in this time where people are uncertain and they're searching for, I'm dissatisfied with where I am, or I want to ensure that I have a peaceful, a financially affordable, um, unbothered future. The move abroad process can be that for you. And these steps are definitely how you can get started.
I'm trying to adjust myself. Hold up. Okay, so seriously. Oh my God. Like, what is this thing doing? Okay, anyway. So with that, if I've adjusted myself, um, D, what's your make sure that you put
Oh,
your
yes, yes,
YouTube
yes.
information, your social, please do, yeah,
Yes,
in
yes,
the
yes.
comments, and also they're in the descriptions. Um, I need to actually put yours on mine also and stuff. But again, I'm so excited because this is my third. Is this my third or fourth interview? I'm doing lives from now on. I'm interviewing people. I'm talking to people. So yeah, that's how I'm rolling now. And I am so honored. It's like because I've been on Dee's channel a couple of times and stuff, and I'm like, okay, I got to make sure that she's like one of the first people that I interview when I start doing my lives and stuff. So yes, you made it, girl, and I'm so
Yes.
honored. So yes, we are each other's yin and yang. I mean, it's like I know she got a husband and all. Yes,
Yeah.
so I'm
Amen.
happy for
You need a
but yeah,
sister. Y'all, you
yes,
need a sister.
need a
That's
whole
all
tribe.
I'm saying.
Yes. And there we go. Hi, Lori. Hi, Lori Butler. Hold on. I wanted to just go ahead and say one. Okay, so just to acknowledge a couple of people here. Michelle says, Bonjour, everyone. Watching from the south of France on my retirement scouting trip,
Ooh,
brainstorming ways to move up my target date. Okay. Hey, girl. I'm so happy for you. And let's see here. Yes, remote jobs and storage. So she was just saying the luxury bucket list said remote jobs and storage are the top two because I have a lot. Okay. And you know what? It's great that you are acknowledging. You're like, okay, so here's where I need to focus to make sure that we're getting, that we're activating and putting things in the proper motion. And you acknowledge. Okay. Please don't sit in a I don't know and never figure anything out because then you're not moving anywhere,
and
figuratively and literally.
for those of us who enjoy research and feel like I don't know enough to move forward, do some initial research, take those points, and keep moving. Because
Mhm.
analysis of paralysis is a real thing. And I think sometimes we lean into research when we are feeling fearful, when we're feeling, pressure.
Mhm.
And so acknowledge it. I talk about, where do you feel those emotions in your body when you're feeling anxious and you feel like I'm stuck. Why? What's happening? And then when you can deal with that emotion with positive coping skills, then you're able to move forward. But being in community, I think, out of everything, I'm able to touch my move abroad process often with people who understand and who are also doing it, who are also willing to share. This is working for me, or someone saying, hey, I've chosen this country. What do you know about that? Those are the things that help to take a plan from I'd like to actually taking steps.
Yeah.
And checking things off and moving forward.
Well, Dee, thank you very much. Please do make sure that you like and subscribe for Locating Cozy, and you can follow me on Instagram and here on YouTube, and follow Miss D, Danica at H&D Abroad. Please make sure that you subscribe to her channel and follow her. You're on Instagram pretty busily too, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I need to do more. Don't we always need to do more in the
Girl, this is
social
growing
media world?
organically as hell because sometimes I feel like a post, sometimes I don't.
I don't. Y'all, I'm so glad we got a chance to share this time with you all. And if you are joining us in the future and you are taking steps, if you have questions, ask them in the chat. If you are joining us and you have things to share, we love some tips in this on this side, in these corners of the internet. We will take a tip as well. If you have suggestions for content that we should continue to collaborate, Yolanda and I should collaborate on in the future that you all want to hear us talk about, we're down for that too. What I am so honored to share is that you have options. Choice is the biggest benefit of democracy. And so what are the choices that you're making to make your dreams, to make your reality livable and beautiful? We hope you're choosing to do those things starting today.
Yes. You guys, y'all take care. I will see you next week. Actually, we'll see some of y'all this weekend on our Monday or Sunday meeting. But anyways, that's another conversation. Yes. So if you're not part of the We Out 2025 group and stuff, then you can't come. So you need to join Exodus Summit first. Okay.
That's right. Bye.
Thank you guys. Y'all take care. Hold on, girl.
Okay.
Much love.